Today, we're going to talk about why nurses are working out 3, 4 times, even 5 times a week and gaining weight. My name is Coach Dustin. I'm the CEO of Team VP Fit. We've helped over 200 nurses restore their metabolism, restore their energy so that way they can lose 15 to 20 pounds in 90 days. And today, we're going to dive into what's going on with your body. Let's take a deeper dive into what's really going on with your day-to-day life as a nurse who works maybe 3 12-hour shifts, right? Maybe you wake up, but you're just not as energized anymore. You're just feeling a lot more fatigued, right? You go to your 12-hour shift. Maybe you try to eat healthy. You're trying to eat high protein. You're bringing your protein shake. You get off your shift and you tell yourself that you're gonna work out, right? And maybe you force yourself to get to the gym and maybe you're able to get on the Stairmaster, but you deep down, you know that you're just so tired. And now maybe your appetite's gone down. Maybe after you eat a meal, you just feel bloated and you keep on trying to focus on that motivation. You tell yourself you're gonna be disciplined. And so you do this cycle time over time, but every time you step on the scale, or maybe you put on your clothes or you put on your scrubs for work, you feel like things are getting a little tighter. Maybe things are getting a little flabbier and you don't know what's going on. And I talk to a lot of nurses and they get frustrated because they express to me that they see people on social media, maybe their friends, like that they're able to work out and eat healthy and they're able to see results, but how come they're not seeing results? The thing is, as nurses, you guys have totally different lifestyles. You guys don't work a 9 to 5. You don't have the normal sleep schedule, right? The thing is, when you go to work, those shifts can be extremely tough. And so now you have irregular eating patterns because we all know as nurses, you barely have time to go to the restroom, or you barely have time to drink water, let alone eat a real meal. And if you work night shifts and you're getting off late at night, now your circadian rhythm's all thrown off. So you need a different strategy that fits for your lifestyle. And that's what makes it so hard for nurses to lose weight in the first place. The thing is, your body has been in survival mode for so long, and I'm gonna explain the main things that's keeping your body in survival mode. So now we're gonna break down the 5 main things that's making it so hard for nurses to lose weight. So the first thing we need to understand is that stress as a nurse affects our cortisol, okay? And as a nurse, you work long shifts, you have irregular eating patterns, and you also have irregular sleep schedules, right? And so when all of those things affect your stress, it raises cortisol. And what happens when cortisol is raised is that now you have increased cravings, now you have more weight gain around your belly section, and it causes a lot of water retention and bloating, right? And so even if you work out, it's adding to the stress because working out is a stress within itself. So if your body is already stressed out and it's holding on to body fat, adding more workouts is only making the problem worse. The second thing making weight loss extremely hard for nurses is undereating, okay? Undereating over a long amount of time results in what we call metabolic slowdown. And you would think that eating less means you're gonna lose weight. But what happens that when you undereat for long periods of time, your body adapts. It slows down its metabolism in order to hold on to a lot of weight because it's not getting enough fuel. So what happens is that your body is trying to conserve its energy. The fact that you're not giving it adequate, consistent fuel, it's going to adapt by that by just holding on to everything. And that's why you're holding on to body fat. And the third factor that affects weight gain for nurses is poor sleep. The thing with poor sleep that affects weight gain is that you work 12-hour shifts, maybe you work night shifts, right? And so it's hard to get this consistent sleeping schedule. But what happens with poor sleep is that it affects 2 important hormones that you need to know about, ghrelin and leptin. And also what you need to know about that is that when those levels are all messed up, hunger signal goes up and satiety, which is your ability to stay full, goes down. And when these 2 hormones are messed up, it makes it extremely hard for you to eat consistently. So that's why you crave sugar, that's why you crave bakery snacks, and that's why you get off your 12-hour shift and you feel like your cravings are out of control. And now the fourth one is random eating, okay? Now, I work with a lot of nurses, and the number one thing I see them do is that they're just eating snacks and little meals throughout the day. But the problem is that when you're eating small snacks and you're not strategically eating protein or satiety foods, you're shooting up your blood sugars, okay? When you're spiking that up, you're getting that initial dopamine hit. Let's say you have, a little pastry in the morning, or maybe you have some oatmeal in the morning, but you're not pairing that with protein. What happens is that in a couple hours, that blood sugar crashes and now you're starving, right? And so now you're in this cycle where you're just looking for the next dopamine hit, the next snack, the next calorie bomb in order for you to just power through your 12-hour shift. And so what that leads to is just way more cravings, less control over your nutrition, and it takes a lot of willpower, which makes it extremely hard to lose weight. And so the last thing that's making it very hard for nurses to lose weight is working out and cardio. Now, the thing is, you might be like, hey, Dustin, I'm trying to lose weight. Why wouldn't I work out? The thing is, if you are a nurse and you're experiencing high stress, high cortisol, you're under eating, you have poor sleep, okay, and you don't have a structured way of eating the right amount of intake for your body, working out is only gonna make these problems worse. Think of working out as a stress factor, right? The thing is, you need to deserve your workouts. If your body is stressed and you're adding workouts on top, you're only telling your body to conserve more energy to hold on to more body fat. So what happens when you just add more workouts is that you get even more fatigued. You get even more cravings, or your appetite starts to drop, and it also affects your ability to get in proper sleep quality. So even though you're working out, your body is still holding on to body fat, you still have low energy, you still have these crazy cravings. It's not that your body's broken, it's that your body's just trying to protect you. And so when nurses think, I just need to work out more, or I probably need to eat less, it's only making the problem worse because your body is an adaptation machine. And so when you're not addressing all of those root causes I mentioned, and you're just trying to focus on working out and eating less, you're never gonna reach your results. That is why this is not a workout problem. It's a full body environment problem. Take it from our client, Ashley, who's not only a nurse, but she's a mom as well. When she first came to us, she was already super disciplined, motivated. She was working out 3 or 4 times a week consistently. She hired a trainer. She was going to Pilates classes, and she was saving a lot of workouts and nutrition and all the recipes that she sees online. And she was just doing everything right, but her body just still wasn't changing. She felt like she couldn't keep up with her daughter. She felt like every time she put on clothes, she didn't want to go out because she just didn't feel confident. And she was so frustrated because she's like, I'm a high performing nurse. I'm showing up. I'm doing everything I can, but how come my body isn't looking what it's supposed to look like? So when she joined our program, what we did was we focused on fixing the root cause. We fixed her metabolism first. We fixed the way she was eating. Once we fixed all of that, her body naturally responded again, and she was able to lose 12 to 15 pounds. She has way more energy to play with her daughter, and ultimately she feels confident to go out. So if your body isn't responding how you want, you have to look at the inputs. It's not that you're not disciplined, it's that you're just following the wrong strategy and it's not working for you. So that's where you need to look first. So if you're a nurse and you resonate with some of the things I mentioned, or maybe you're trying a lot of different things and your body is responding and you're trying to find that root issue, apply for our nurse metabolic assessment. And what we'll do is we'll review your results. If you qualify, we'll jump on a strategy call. We'll take a deeper dive into what your goals are, what your challenges are, and if you're a good fit, we'll map out an exact game plan on how we're gonna reach your goals together. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, give it a comment on your biggest takeaway, and if you haven't already, give me a follow on Instagram at Dustin Chow. I post a ton of content, and if you want even more content, check out my podcast. It's called Behind the Vision Podcast, and I'll see you guys on the next one.